Hello students, today we will start with chapter number 2, that is biological classification. Now biological word, it is related with living. So question is there, whom to call living or living organism? Okay, whom to call living? So living organisms, they can able to reproduce, they can able to move from one place to the another place, means they can locomote. They can also perform the cell division, they can also perceive the stimulus and give reaction. So they are called as living organisms. Now these living organisms over a period of time, they are classified into many categories, and that classification system was given by many scientists. Whatever earlier efforts were made to classify these living organisms, they were made more instinctively rather to have more scientific basis. Aristotle was earliest to make this classification system, and Aristotle divided or grouped these living organisms into two categories. The first category, that is plants. So in that category he included trees, shrubs and herbs on the basis of their morphology, on the basis of their size. So that way plants are divided into three groups: trees, shrubs and herbs. While animals divided into two categories, that is those animals they have red blood and those who did not have red blood. So that way plants and animals are divided. After that, Carl Linnaeus in 1758, he gave more scientific based classification system, and he gave two kingdom classification. Those two kingdoms are plants and animals, kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. So two kingdoms were there, and they are given by Carl Linnaeus in 1758. Now Plantae, that includes all prokaryotic, eukaryotic organisms, photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. While Animalia, that kingdom included unicellular protozoans and multicellular metazoans. Unicellular protozoans and multicellular metazoans. But still many organisms did not fall to these categories. So over a period of time, more changes were required in this classification system. Now after two kingdom classification, one more classification system was given, and that is three kingdom classification system. Now this three kingdom classification system, it was given by Ernest Haeckel. Three kingdom classification system was given by Ernest Haeckel, and he included plants, protista and animals. These three categories: plants, protista and animals. After three kingdom classification, one more classification was formulated, and this classification, it is four kingdom classification, where four kingdoms were there, and that was given by Copeland. And Copeland included this four kingdom, that is Monera. Monera, which is very primitive kind of prokaryotic organisms. After that, Protista, Plantae and Animalia. So in four kingdom classification, that is Monera, Protista, Plantae and Animalia are included. After four kingdom classification, five kingdom classification was given. Yes, this five kingdom classification is given by Robert H. Whittaker in 1969, or R. H. Whittaker in 1969, and it is 5 kingdom classification. Here 5 kingdoms, as you can see here. The first kingdom is Monera, second kingdom is Protista, third is Fungi, fourth is Plantae, and the fifth kingdom is Animalia kingdom. Now this 5 kingdom classification, it has certain characteristics. On that basis, many organisms are included in this 5 kingdom classification, and these characteristics are like this. The first one is cell type, whether the cell is prokaryotic cell or eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic means primitive cell. So that is first characteristic, cell type. Second one is cell wall. Cell wall, as in the case of plant cell, they have cell wall and it is made up of cellulose. So on that basis, the animals or plants, they are differentiated or they are put in this category, whether they have cell wall or the cell wall is absent. Third characteristic is nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane, it is present or absent. So on that basis, they are placed into this category. And fourth one, it is body organization. The fourth one, that is body organization, means whether the cell it is having cellular level body organization or tissue level body organization or organ level or organ system level body organization. So this 4 criteria or 4 characteristics were given by this Robert H. Whittaker, and on that basis they are classified in this 5 kingdom system. Now he also used certain characteristics to classify them and put them in the particular category. Those criteria are cell structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, mode of reproduction, and phylogenetic relationship. Phylogenetic means evolutionary relationship. So this all criteria, they were given by Robert H. Whittaker. In the earlier classification system, certain issues were there, and because of those issues, it was not widely acceptable. Let's say first issue, bacteria, algae, pteridophytes, gymnosperm, angiosperm, they were all together put in the plant kingdom or in the Plantae, which is not correct. Second thing, let's say Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, they both are algae, but Chlamydomonas, it is unicellular algae, while Spirogyra is multicellular algae. So that was not clear difference between unicellular and multicellular organisms. And third one, fungus. Earlier, fungus, like in the 4 kingdom classification, fungus, it was included in Plantae. But in 5 kingdom classification, it is as a separate kingdom, it was included. And fungus, why it was included in the plants, because fungus, it has cell wall just like plant. But fungal cell wall, it is made up of chitin. Instead of cellulose, it is made up of chitin. But as it was having cell wall, so that was included in the plants. But what is the thing here? Fungus is saprophytic in the mode of nutrition. Saprophytic means it depends on dead organic matters. So that was one of the issue, like where to put fungus. In the plant kingdom, yes, it has cell wall, but cell wall is made up of chitin. Unlike the plants, they have cell wall made up of cellulose. Plants are autotrophic, but fungus, it is saprophytic in the mode of nutrition. So these are certain issues regarding the earlier classification system. Now let us start with kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera, it includes all prokaryotic living organisms. Here, what is meant by prokaryotic? Pro means primitive and karyon means nucleus. These are those organisms who has primitive kind of nucleus. Now, what to call primitive kind of nucleus? So, that nucleus does not have nuclear membrane. The genetic material which is present in the nucleus, it is not surrounded by this proper nuclear membrane or nuclear envelope. Second thing, prokaryotic cell does not have membrane bound cell organelles. Membrane bound cell organelles like lysosomes, Golgi complex, chloroplast, these are called membrane bound. They are surrounded by membrane. So these cell organelles, they are absent in prokaryotic cells. Let's say examples. So bacteria, blue-green algae, blue-green algae, that is cyanobacteria, and mycoplasma. These are the examples of Monera or Monerans. Now bacteria, this bacteria, they are the sole members of kingdom Monera, and on the basis of the shape of the bacteria, they are grouped into this all category. The first one, some bacteria, they have spherical shape. Okay, you can see here the spherical shape, cocci. Okay, so spherical shaped coccus or cocci. Cocci, that is plural, coccus, that is singular. Second one is bacillus. Okay, they are rod shaped bacteria. Third one is spirilla. Spirilla, they are spiral shaped bacteria. And fourth one, they are coma shaped. Okay, Vibrio, one of the example is Vibrio cholerae, which can cause cholera. So they are coma shaped bacteria, example is Vibrio. So these are the categories on the basis of their structure. Okay, spherical, rod shaped, spiral shaped and coma shaped. Now this bacteria, they are simple in the structure, but they have complex behavior. If we study about the mode of nutrition in the case of bacteria, so they have, let's say first one, autotrophic mode of nutrition or autotrophic bacteria. Autotrophic word you know very well. Autotrophic means those, autotrophs are those organisms, those can synthesize their food by themselves. Okay, so this autotrophic bacteria, they are categorized into two groups. The first one is photoautotrophic bacteria and second one is chemoautotrophic bacteria. One more thing you can say, photosynthetic autotrophs and chemosynthetic autotrophs. Photoautotrophic bacteria, with the help of light energy, they can synthesize their food, while chemoautotroph, they use certain chemicals like sulfur, right? And with the help of those chemicals, they can synthesize their food. So these are called autotrophic bacteria, which can synthesize their food by themselves only by using either photo means light energy or chemo means chemicals. Second category is heterotrophic bacteria. This heterotrophic bacteria, they either depend on the other animal's body, they live inside the body of the other organism or other animal, or they can use some dead organic matter for their consumption. So they are heterotrophic, which are depend on either animal's body or they depend on the dead organic matter. So in this way, bacteria, they are either autotrophic or heterotrophic. Now the two types of bacteria, eubacteria, which are called true bacteria, and archaebacteria, which can live in the extreme conditions. So those two categories we'll see in the next lecture. Thank you.